And the numbers are rising not only here in Israel, but in other countries as well. One of those is Italy, which was strongly affected by the first wave and is now dealing with high numbers once again. A delegation from the Sheba Medical Center, just outside of Tel Aviv, flew to Italy on Wednesday night to assist a local hospital dealing with a serious outbreak. And on this issue, now we're joined by Steve Waltz, who's the international media spokesperson for the Sheba Medical Center. Steve Waltz, thank you for being with us. And the question is, if we go back to March and April, the numbers and the images coming out of Italy were terrible. Is this the same situation now?
Well, they're in a second wave. And as you know, during the first wave, a lot of the doctors either got sick, some of them died. Northern Italy seems to have an elderly population and a population that seems to have a lot of other health issues. And Italy has really never 100% recovered in that area. So they're in a second wave, and they are in a serious second wave, and the doctors are falling off their feet.
And what's the kind of assistance that Sheba can provide? Is it only personnel? Is it personnel and medicine? What was there? What is exactly the assistance?
So, I mean, we sent an experienced team from our Israel Center for Disaster Medicine, led by Professor Elchanan Baron, who actually, when the first wave hit here, he led the first corona team at Sheba. So all the people who are there are either doctors, nurses, and support personnel that bring that knowledge that we had here. And, you know, we were pretty successful in using telemedicine technologies and other treatment protocols that were able to help the population of Israel and get those numbers back down. And of course, we'll be challenged here again in the coming weeks and months. But the idea is that our humanitarian team, when they're called to action, they'll go anywhere around the world to lend a helping hand.
We're hearing now you're just saying that the numbers in Italy are again very high. It was also the case in Spain, at least in the first wave. How is Israel dealing with this? Because we've heard before concerns that the hospitals will collapse and Israel will not deal with it. How is Sheba dealing with the numbers? How is the entire Israel medical establishment dealing with the numbers?
So you could say that in this part of the country, especially at Sheba, the numbers are very stable right now. We only have, as of today, 11 corona patients. The problems exist mostly in the north and the south. However, there is a small spike that we're beginning to see. But if you're going to send a team abroad, let's do it now before this, a third wave hits here, which unfortunately appears to be inevitable. But right now, we're holding our own. It's the main hospital in Sheba that is very busy because people at this time of the year are sick. And so we're tending to them, but we don't have the pressure of treating 40 or 50 corona patients right now. Hopefully we won't get to that either by the end of December, early January. So if we're going to send some crew abroad, now's the time to do it, and they will be there for about 10 to 12 days in Italy.
I happened to be at Sheba in the first wave, and I saw that there was preparations, preparing even an underground parking lot to bring on all the people. Eventually, those rather dark forecasts, Israel was able to avoid them?
Yes, and that parking lot is prepared. We hope we never get to it because that underground parking lot, the secondary parking lot, is already able to work with 300 corona patients. We don't want to get to that. Obviously, everybody in the government and in the healthcare system here is trying to prevent that. But if we hit such a wave, we are prepared.
Let's hope the parking lots remain for cars and not for patients. Steve Waltz, international media spokesperson for the Sheba Hospital, thank you very much for being with us.